Hello guys, STRAIKER here, and welcome to World of Tanks. Today we're going to be showing you a really interesting replay about a T-34 and a KV-85. You could almost call it a love song. But we'll get into that later. So I recently acquired the T-34 on this account, and it's been a bit of a blast if I'm being honest. I think it's a fantastic little medium tank, and it absolutely kicks arse. It is amazing. So, highlights of this little tank. Its gun handling when you get a gun laying drive, vents, a rammer, all the good stuff, plus a decent crew in it, is actually pretty fantastic. The aiming circle is very small and the aim time is very good. It also, however, is a shotgun. Well, maybe less of a shotgun, more of a bullet hose. This thing puts out something around 28 rounds per minute with my current setup, and that's only with an 80% crew. It does around 2300 damage per minute at tier 5 currently, and I've seen numbers for this tank with like fantastic crews and perfect setups ranging all the way up to 2500 damage per minute, which is an absolutely insane value for a tier 5 medium. The only tanks that get close to that in the following 3 tiers, well, there are 3 of them. There's the Object 416 at tier 8, which gets something around 2900 damage per minute when fully upgraded. There's the Comet at tier 7, which gets 2700 damage per minute when fully upgraded. And then there's the Cromwell, which gets just under 2600 damage per minute when fully upgraded. Those are the 3 tanks that can surpass this tank over the next couple tiers from basically below tier 8. Those are the 3 tanks that can really surpass this tank in terms of damage per minute that aren't Soviet tank destroyers, which is absolutely insane. I mean, this is a monster of a vehicle. And in terms of what I'm doing here, I looked at the team list at the beginning of the battle, and I saw that they have a bunch of heavy tanks. Well, they have a bunch of very medium heavies and medium tanks. And so they're not going to be able to hold the city very well. Versus we have a lot of like true heavy tanks. KV-2, KV-85, and E2 is a heavy tank. KV-1, KV-220. All of those are really good heavy tanks for taking the city. And this guy does some fun stuff. I don't mind taking his health if he's just going to give it to me. So a couple opportunistic shots there. But this game is basically developing as you'd expect, with the enemy team having a bunch of mediums and us having a bunch of heavies. We've taken the city very hard. We own everything E-line and then south. And that's good. That's where we need to be, especially on an encounter battle on this map. However, the other thing is that we're losing tanks much quicker than they are, because our mediums are getting picked off and destroyed very, very quickly. Because they have those tier 6 mediums and that Jagdpanzerfear, and those, like basically those 3 tanks, the G2, the Cromwell, and the Jagdpanzerfear, they will destroy lower tier medium tanks. And the reason why I mentioned the Jagdpanzerfear is it gets something around 3000 damage per minute, which means it can kill most tier 5 tanks in 3 shots, which is, in other words, about 8 seconds. And that's if it like gets average rolls. If it high rolls, it can kill a similar tier tank. Well, it can kill a tier 5 tank in about 4 seconds. There's the 3001. Makes some stupid plays. Looks at me. Decides to shoot the Churchill 1. Smart move on his part. And we take him out. Now, I noticed the Churchill 1 here starts taking fire from the Cheeto. And I'm like, okay, so I know where the Cheeto is supposed to be. So I start firing, and apparently, well, I was getting pretty close because the Cheeto decided I was a bigger threat than the Churchill was. So I use the Churchill's cover here to my left, and I escape as I notice the OI experimental. OI XP takes out the Churchill 1, and this game isn't going well. It's currently, well, I mean, it's currently 5 to 12. Or, sorry, 5 to 11, which is not a good thing to do, or to face. Now, the Cromwell's coming through here. He doesn't have the top gun, and I was able to pre-aim and get some shots into him, make him think twice about hurting our KV-85 brethren. I figured that we're probably going to lose this game at this point, and looking around, there's not much to suggest otherwise. So helping out this KV-85 is probably the best thing I can do. Now, I keep on checking down to my right because I expect the Cheeto is going to try to flank me or do something else. But at this point, I'm also wondering if the logo is going to do something stupid. And then something drives through the cap. I know it's probably the Cheeto, so I'd be sneaky. I peek through. I put some shots in here. There's 2 shots. I hung out too long. He's able to hit that round. I think I had a bit of a ping spike there, because on my screen I was already around the building, and on his screen I was obviously not. So it's not too much of an issue, but I'm now a 2-shot for him, or a very, very lucky 1-shot if things really go badly for me. And then he decides to push, but he's not looking at me. I put that shot in. I poorly aim that one because there's a wreck in the way, and then I poorly aim that one and I hit a pillar, and I start going for his tracks. I realize I need to help this KV-85. So I start putting this fire in, trying to aim for modules. I've probably hit his ammo rack at this point, and the KV-85 finishes him off. Now it's me and the KV-85 because that Panzer SFL is going to be gone soon. So if there's any chance of us winning this, I'm going to need to keep this KV-85 alive. So KV-85 kills the Jagdpanzer. The Tyran 3P hits me. I figured he was aiming at the other guy. I put 2 shots into him as I know I cannot reload him. I wait for the Tyran to take a shot at the KV-85. I wait. And now the Tyran's going to try to push the KV-85 and kill him. And so my only job here is to very carefully punish this Tyran for trying to hurt my friend. Put shots in, KV-5 finished him off. The Tyran does a bad job penetrating him. Now, 2 versus 5, this is still winnable. However, we are both 1-shots, so we have to play this very, very carefully. Take a look over here. STRV M/42 is spotted. I know I need to get out and support the KV-85. I figured I'd be able to fit through that gap, considering fit through the other one is usually tanks that'll go through that little underpassage will also fit through that gap between those 2 buildings, but in this case no, so I drive over, I do it correctly this time, and then I real quickly go for a check, because I'm not quite sure what's coming down this way and I don't want to be surprised, and then I spot this. He misses, which is super lucky. I make sure one goes in, and then I pull back because I'm not going to beat his reload. I now know I need to get in the cover. The M41 is behind me. I missed that shot, but the KV-5 doesn't. I know I need to kill this IKV or he will kill me, and then the artillery will kill the KV-5. So I put these rounds in. I move. M41's coming around. I see that he is looking at me. I stick my rear end out, and I jiggle back and forth. He's still moving. I know I'm safe. He puts a shot straight between our 2 tanks, and we murderize him for it. The Panzer IV's coming, so we can deal with him. He hasn't pushed yet though, so I'm not loading gold yet, but there's the Bishop. I turn my turret the wrong way. I wait too long to get into this fight, and we get really lucky here. I whiff that shot. I put that one in. I put the next one on. The Bishop's about to reload. I move. He misses. He misses the KV-85 too and hits the wreck of his dearly departed IKV-103. Now, I don't know what the Panzer 34 is, but now I need to hide my cupola using that little flap on the IKV. I have my gold loaded because I'm prepared. I don't want to bounce off of him. I put a shot in. I keep this little wreck between me and him. And now I just need to finish him off. He fires. He misses. And I don't. And without further ado, let's go to the post-game stats. And here we are with the post-game stats. So, this was obviously a win. My first mastery badge in this tank. Fire for Effect was a medal that I got, and I also got Confederate for hitting at least 6 enemy targets and doing damage to them. In reality, it looks like I did damage to 9 enemy tanks and killed 3. There's a decent amount of experience in this battle. I earned a decent amount of credits. 1,094 base XP is definitely not bad, and 1,641 with premium was a very nice little bonus to get. In terms of the team score, well, the carry came down to me in the KV-85, and the KV-85 was in a large part the hero here. He ended up doing 3,045 damage and getting 9 kills. He got Spartan, Fire for Effect, a Radley Walters medal, Bruiser, Duelist, Hand of God, High Caliber, Top Gun, and Steel Wall. He's the one who stole all the medals, and he definitely deserved them for the way he played. He was a one-shot for so long, and he bounced so much damage that he just did a really good job of not getting hit and bouncing the damage that does come his way. Now, I fired 45 shells in that game. I hit 31 and penetrated 27, which made up for about 2,076 damage. I also did 3 kills, and if you look at the team scores, it turns out that if you add up all of my team combined, they didn't do as much damage as Vincent Wang did, and they barely did more damage than I did. And Vincent Wang almost did more damage than the entirety of the enemy team combined. So, pretty impressive, and an excellent performance from the KB85 and myself in the T-34 in that battle. And honestly, there's not much more to say. I think that in terms of highlights from that battle, there are a couple things to talk about that are actually pretty important. So at the end of there, the reason why we won is because we basically used a bait and switch. When the Panzer III-4 came across, I showed myself as a target, then I moved straight into cover, at which point the KB85 was able to put a shot in, and then the Panzer III-4 switched and looked at the KB85, and then I was able to kill him. This happened again with the Arty. I'm in front, I'm baiting the Arty, and then I pull back, the Arty fires and misses, at which point the KB85 is able to help me deal the finishing blow to that artillery. It's also the same with that IKV, that little Swedish tank destroyer that came around. IKV saw me, I made myself a target, IKV was like, oh, I'm gonna want to kill him, and so I put shots into him, distracted him, and he tried to aim at me, at which point the KB85 was able to finish him off. And honestly, it was just a perfect example of the bait and switch and perfect teamwork from two strangers who, well, in the end, carried one hell of a game. So, thank you guys for watching. There's going to be more videos out. I have a new schedule, replays of the week thing on Sunday, some like helping skill video on Tuesday, and then some other form of tank review or something else that's sort of special on Friday. So just watch out for that. Subscribe if you're not already for more content like this. I want to do more videos that seem to make you guys pretty happy. And well, if you liked it, like it. So have a nice day, everybody. It was a pleasure being here with you. And I'm STRAIKER, signing off.